Hello, guys. um, oh, okay, it's working. Okay. Let's see. Hello. So let me just check something. Blah 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 blah. Because I have been invited to a beta, so I can stream to 1440 on Twitch. So if you are on Twitch, let me know if it runs fine. It should, and the quality should be better than it used to be. But anyway, hello. Doing fine, just sleepy. Yeah, I'm also super sleepy. You know, first week back after holiday, so anyway, we got some interesting stuff. Because I was just thinking, well, let's just go live for 1 hour because I'm sitting and working on the game anyway. And it's actually something that is interesting to look at, I guess. Yeah. I'm working on the firing system, and I'm working on, I'm actually working on adding some, let's see here. Right now I'm just using a walkie-talkie from the Synthi Studio. I'm not a 3D modeler, so I saw what I could find in the Synthi Studios library. They have some kind of Synthi. Let's see here. Come on. What? Wait. Here it goes. So, damn it. Wait a second. What is it here? There, this, and this one. What's okay, so like this here. Okay, so they have some kind of Synthi decks where you can search for stuff. So I search for buttons and walkie-talkies and radios and whatever. And the reason I do that is because then I can use that as a starting point and then change it and use some of these models to build whatever I need. Right now I'm working on building a temporarily at least, firing system receiver, which I can show you now. Before it was just a tiny little white box, which was super uninspiring. So now I'm changing a little. Again, this model is for sure not final, but I have changed the walkie-talkie now to be something like this. The idea is that it should say the Q in here, and actually in the future also the channel. And then there are two buttons to go up and down, channel +1, plus or -1, to change what channel this one should listen to. And then, we can hook up stuff to it in the top. But I can show you here. And then afterwards I need to build the at least a first version of a firing system controller, which is the one where you push Q1, Q2, Q3 to make it fire off. So Nikolai, I'm from Denmark. Where are you from? I know Keltosar's from Germany. Oh, Poland. Okay. It's not that far. Okay, so let's see. So this is actually also the current state of the firing system. So right now I have a firing controller here, which is not very very interesting. Remember in the post I talked back and forth if I should have kind of a physical thing like this or a UI thing. And right now I'm actually I cannot decide. I don't know what is best. So I'm just continuing now. so I have something that works better, because then I'm sure it will be more intuitive what is the right thing to do. And right now actually it's both, because right now you have both these buttons you can actually click. There's no feedback or anything, but the first one actually works because the receiver is hard-coded to only you listen for Q1. But anyway, we will change that hopefully in this stream. And then I added this little button here. So if you want to have the UI, you can click this and then the UI come up with some UI controls. So after I did that, I was like, okay, maybe we can actually have both. We can have, you know, physical things here for the simple stuff, and then you could open the UI to have some more advanced whatever. But let me show you a funny little issue with this one. You see the UI shows up here. It looks weird, but there's some buttons here too. If I take this one and go over here and then look at the UI, it's kind of squished and changed. I can do like this. Oops. Okay, now it's not turning that much, but it just looks weird. But no problem, I'll fix that at a later point. That's not actually what I'm working on right now. What I'm working on right now is this receiver. You can see here what it looked like before, pretty boring. And now I have made this little thing. Again, it's not working yet, but well, it is working, but we cannot change the, so we can do something like this. And then right now it's made so no matter what fuse you pick here, whenever you connect to one of these blue ones here, it always changes it to electrical fuse, which this blue one indicates. And that one has no time. So it's like when this goes off, this line just ignites this one over here. So I can really do something like this. I can do like that. You can see it's I can go all blue here, you know, so like it's just changing the fuse type whenever it connects to some of this. So, and I can move this around, and then I can go over here and I can either click, look at this one, the red one, and click E. Again, there will be help and stuff and, you know, feedback and blah 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 blah. It's only testing now. And I can also open this one and click Q1. But let's try and do this one for now. So, works, no issues, yada yada yada. So that's fine. But what I want to do now is I want to change this one so I can actually change the receiver now so it listens to different cues, because right now it's only listening to, it's always listening to Q1. It's hard coded to that. So let me fix that. So if we have one receiver here, this is the receiver thingy. Maybe we should take that electric fuse down. Okay, maybe it's fine. We could also set it on the, could just for fun now, should we just put it at the top of the antenna here? We just for your eyes only, let's put it here and let's see how that works, just for the fun of it. It's weird, but I'll figure something else out. Anyway, stop. Okay, so what I need is that I have this script here called Fireworks System Receiver Behavior. So right now you can see here, trying to receive ignite fuse. So it's just igniting the fuse no matter what channel and Q it is. So let's see here. What do we have? We have a Q index and a channel index. Okay, fine. So, so for this to be working in multiplayer, I need to have a private network, because now it's not, normally I would just have we can also do that first. No, let's just make it correctly at first. Variable, and it will be an byte, I guess. So Q index. I might change this later on, but anyway. So let's default it to 1. Zoom in a bit here. So it defaults to 1. Everyone, and who can write permission? That's actually also everyone. Owner. Damn it. Okay, so we need a okay, let's maybe do the multiplayer thing afterwards, and let's keep it simple for now. So let's do an integer and then call it Q index, and it defaults to 1, and then we have a private int channel index, which is also 1. Really, we only need the Q1 now. Okay, so let's have a method called void increase Q index, which will just basically just make this one bigger, and then we say void increase decrease decrease Q index, and then we have to have some logic to make sure that it doesn't go below 0, blah blah blah. We can say Q math clamp, the new value is index minus minus 1, minimum value is 1, and and max is like, let's say 36 or something like that. So we take the Q and we minus 1, and then it can only go down to 1, so this one, blah 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 blah. We can do the same up here. It's just plus 1. I think it will be the easiest. Okay, so now we have these two public methods, and then we can hook stuff up to that. And also let's make this down here. So this event fires whenever a signal is firing. So a fire controller signal, which is a combination of channel and a Q index. So if the arc channel index is the same as the channel index, okay, actually suggest here. So if the channel index that was fired is the same as our index in this receiver, and the Q index that was triggered by the firing controller is also the same as this one, it of course have to fire off. So far so good. And now we have these two public methods which we can use to increase and decrease. And let's do a log method here because we don't have any UI right now. So let's just say Q index equals, and then the Q index. And then we just do this. So now we can see in the logs every time it changes up and down. Okay, so that won't do anything for starters. Now we have to go in here and do some stuff. We can take it up a bit so we can easily see it. Why did you make Fireworks Mania? Actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, the welcome video is kind of well, the video is 4 years old or something like that, but that actually explains how it started. That video, of course, only goes to that point where I was 4 years ago, but I'm a little further now. So you can see if you go in here. The home video. Okay, I cannot see it because I'm... Okay, if you go in here, you will see it. because I'm like this. Nope. Okay, it's because I'm live maybe. Anyway, there normally is a video here. Have they changed something? Or is it because I'm live? Usually there's a kind of a welcome video here. That is this that's actually weird. Anyway, there is a video in here. What is that video called? From this to this, or I cannot remember what the video is called. Oh, this one. This one.
This video is about how I went from this to this in 1.5 years of spare time development while having a wife, 2 kids, a full-time day job and a dog. So around New Year's 2018 to 2019, my oldest son asked me if I could help him find a game where he could play around with fireworks. And I was like, yeah, sure, you can't do it in real life, but you can do it in a game, no problem. So we went online searching for a fireworks game. And quickly I found out that most of them are for VR, and the other ones are more professional ones where you set up a fireworks in a strategy way and then fire off the show. And that wasn't really what we were looking for. We were looking for a first-hand FPS-like mouse and keyboard game that was kind of fun. What I also learned is that most of the games, if not all of them, were kind of abandoned and pretty old. So I was like,
Okay, and then there's an ad. So that's cliffhanger right there. Anyway, you can watch the video. Can I put it in here? How it started. You can watch it afterwards. Anyway, again, I should create a new one of these, but I haven't found the time. Anyway, so back to what we do here. So this this new controller, or this receiver, sorry, I created in Blender. I have these 2 minus and plus buttons. So you can see here, if I can do this. So this is the plus button. So we can add an usable, let's take a network one. And then whenever that one is pressed, we can call the method called on the firing receiver here called increase Q. And then in the other one, we can also have a usable network behavior, and I use the network one because later on we need to, it needs to be network enabled, of course, so it works in multiplayer. And I can do that quickly, but I want to do it. Yeah, it makes it a little more complicated. Anyway, we could put some custom text in, but I'm not going to do that right now. So right now I would think that if I look at this one and click, it would increase it. Again, we can only see it in the logs right now because we don't have any UI, but we could put some UI in here in a moment, and then we have a little human display thing where it can show the number. But let's do one thing at a time, because else if you do too much at the time and stuff breaks, you don't know what broke it. So should we go with something more lo-fi, I guess? Okay. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's take this receiver here. And let's take a look. Oh, we need to have a... okay, I need to have this pickup thing. Okay, we need to avoid picking it up, because else he will pick it up instead of clicking the button, and we don't want to have that. So ignore pickup behavior. That should be fine, I guess. No, it's another problem. there's no problem. There's no collider on this one. So we need to have a box collider here, and it needs to be a trigger. Yeah, so that's actually a problem. Else I don't know if we're looking at it or not. Yes, okay. So let's try again. Okay, maybe I should. I haven't posted that I'm live. Maybe I should. There's like 0 viewers in here. Let's see if it works. That music is too boring. We want to have something. We want to have this again. It's better. Okay, so let's see here. So we take this one and we place it here. We maybe do it like that. Why doesn't it? Okay, we don't want to have this use thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's another problem. I was thinking I also need to change this use thing, because when you are trying to hit some minor buttons like this UI kind of fills up the entire thing unless you zoom in like this, but that's annoying. So I think I might change the UI of this use. So I was thinking, like, instead of having it right now, you can see it kind of stays where, you know, on the object in game. I think it should not just be a text above or under the cursor in the middle, and then what button you can press. So I think that's a little better. But anyway, let's see here. So if we look in the bottom here, welcome, hello, Dems and Simon. Anyway, no, I want to fix that first because it's annoying. It's really annoying. Cannot see anything. So show highlight. Why is it not actually showing a highlight? Show interaction UI. Okay, I'm gonna remove the UI because for now we know it's there. It's just really annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that some other way. And that's all these minor things that I'm gonna have to fix, like, hello, Super Sandwich. Like, you know, feedback on when you're clicking on stuff, when you're looking at it, light up, or some indication of what you can do. Hello, Dodie. Okay, so this is the current state of the firing system, which is very, very immature, very, very young and early on. Anyway, okay, let's try it. So we have this one, boom, okay. And now I can walk up to it and see here. So if we can see there's nothing in the lock. If I click on this button, which was the plus, you can see we increase the Q index. 2, 3, 4, and if we take the other one, click, 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 click. A lot of clicks, and it goes back to 1 because I made this clamp thing, so it sticks between 1 and was it 32 or whatever I set it to right now. But that can change again at some point. Okay, so let's try. Now we want to have some UI because we cannot see anything here. Now we know it works. At least, you know, it's changing it up and down. So let's add some UI, which is gonna be tougher. But anyway, let's say UI here, and we want to have a text mesh pro, which is a canvas here, and we want to have it under the model. We already have that. And here comes Unity's weird thing. So screen space, world space. So it should be world space And we have to scale it down. It's weird. It's really weird how that works. I don't know if there is a more proper way of doing this. Not that one. No. Scale to 1. And then canvas should be scaled down like crazy, which is super weird. I don't know why. Yeah, it's weird. So we basically want to have the canvas to be as small as this one here. So we can do something like this. Yes. And then we can do this and then something like this. And then we have this one and we make it just fill everything like that. And then I have I have another font, this phone thingy, and we can put one here, and then we can say this should be very small. We need to push it forward, else we cannot see it. Or what? Ah, okay. Ah, damn it. So the canvas need to move forward. I don't know if this is the best way of doing UI in the 3D world, but that's how it is right now. So let's center it and where is the outer size? Why I cannot see anything? Oh, is it backwards maybe? No? Oh, wait a second. Is it backwards? It's because I'm looking at the wrong side? No? What? I should see scale. Event camera, no. Super Sam, it's how you make mods. There's on my YouTube channel, there's a playlist called Mod Support, I think. And it takes you through everything. So, and you don't need to be able to code to make mods. So that's very, very nice. Yeah, you want to have your own fireworks brand and make fireworks. Yeah, you can do that. It's not, of course there's a learning curve, but it's actually not as hard as you might think. Once you get things going, you need to be able to model in Blender, and you need to be able to set it up in Unity. But just do one thing at a time. There are samples in there to get started, and yeah, so start simple. But follow the videos, it will tell you. Yeah, character, Simon as a character. Yeah, hello, Beyond Tech. Yeah, characters are pretty easy. So why is it that this one is not working? Let me see. What is if I take this one? Okay, is it? What am I missing? I am missing something important. With it's the scale. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay. It's because I was scaling it, which is not the right way of doing it. Of course, I'm an idiot. Okay, wait a second. Okay, so yes, we don't have to scale it. Of course, we have to. This one is still yes. It's still not working, but why is it not working? What? Okay, it's there. It's just so big. Ah, okay. Yes. Okay. So let's... I was scaling it, and that was, of course, wrong. I should change the size of it, of course. Yes, I'm an idiot. Let's see here. So we have to move it in again here. Let's take it from the side so we can see. It must be around there, I guess. It's a little hard to see, but I would assume this would be the place, and then we take it from the front and this one, and then we can make it a little smaller again, something like that. So that would be where the text is. Okay, and now we need to have the font go down to so low that it can actually be here. Ah, yeah, here it is. Okay, great. And then we change it to that green. Yes, perfect. Okay. So what if we go to 1? Okay. We can do like that. Why does it feel like it's not fully in the middle? Isn't it? It's like it's not in the middle, right? I'm just... Max. Hello, Amnesty. So you can see the current state of the firing system, which is very, as I said before, premature. Okay, midline. Okay, so like that. Okay, perfect. Boom. Okay. So, whoops. And overflow. Yeah, well, that's fine for now. So now we have this TextMesh Pro here. So we can go back into a script here and then set that to the Q index every time it changes. And it's a TP. I can never remember. TextMesh Pro. How is it? Graphic UI. I can never remember. And it's so weird with this TextMesh Pro because it doesn't say here. TextMesh Pro. I can never remember. It's such a weird name. TextMesh. No. TMP underscore TMP dot something. Jesus. It's been a while. Okay, I have to find some other place where I use it. Where do they use it? I use it in the UI something. Blah 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 blah. Message UI controller. Yep, here it is. Boom. That's the name. Okay, so Q index text. Boom. And we're missing. Yes. Don't we have any? Okay, wait a second. So the core doesn't have any references to the TextMesh Pro. Yeah, what happened there was that I need a reference to the TextMesh Pro assembly to be able to reference that. It could do it automatically, but that was that's not gonna be good. So let's go back. So sometimes when you wonder, why does it take so long to make a game? Look at this. Let's see. So TextMesh Pro, but haven't it? No, that's Unitask. Unity TextMesh Pro. Yes, that one. Boom. So now I think I can go in here and I can do this. And then it can actually do it. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Boom. So here in awake, I just gotta do a preconditioning, check for null, blah, blah, blah. We don't, that's fine. So we check that it's not null, and then every time, blah, blah. Or maybe I should make it a little bigger so you can see what's happening. I should zoom in maybe. So, no, just text here. So every time we can do it whenever we start here, we set the text to, no, let's just do it in, let's make a little method here. Set Q index text or update, let's say update Q index text. The reason I'm doing this is because then I can just call this one exactly like that. So now I can just call that whenever it's loaded. So it start up by setting it to whatever it has, which is 1 by default. And then I can call that same method here every time I increase it and every time I decrease it. And then we don't need to have this debug thing anymore. So every time we increase and decrease, I update the text so it shows up correctly. Boom, 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 should be fine. Boom. And then we can see what it's actually hooked up to now in this little glowing green here. So let's see if it works. Haven't played in 24. Okay, so you haven't played the new multiplayer version? Leviathan? If you haven't played it since 24 and you haven't played the new version, then a lot have changed, as you can see. So let's see if this controller works, or if this UI works. So here we go. So we have the receiver here, boom, and boom. And then we can go up and we can increase it here. Okay, yes, I know why. Wanna see why? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. I know why. I forgot to hook it up. Classic mistake. And now the mouse also disappeared. That's nice. I wasn't using it anyway, so Jesus Christ. Okay, but let's close Unity, no problem. I was not doing anything important anyway, so let's just remove the mouse from Unity. I will start up again. That was kind of annoying. Oh, so you haven't seen that UI you just saw before when I started the game? Okay, then a lot have changed. There are characters now, multiplayer, yada yada yada. So, and now I'm working on a firing system. Because the modded one was broken after the multiplayer, and it's not actually fixable for modders, and I want to add it native to the game anyway, so that's what I'm doing now. Okay, anyway, so you see here what I forgot. I forgot to put in this text thing. So let's do like this. I could name it a little bit up. And now it should actually work. Oh, never seen it. Okay, okay. Okay, then okay. There's a lot changed. Hello, Super. Sandwich. So this is the new UI. And there's there's a multiplayer thing. There's no, because I'm on a different version now, so there's no servers, but else I could join servers. Mods, blah blah blah. Okay, let's try it. So some of the built-in maps are the same. They have been, I have of course changed them so it worked in multiplayer, but I haven't added new built-in maps for a long time because there is a lot in the multiplayer section. So anyway, so let's see. Let's see. No errors, yes. Woo! Boop, 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 boop. Nice, nice. You might notice, I don't know if you can see it, but I have played around, or I am playing around with some. I don't know if it's noticeable on the stream, but it's something I wanted to add for a while, and then I was stuck at some point in the fireworks system thing, and I wanted to do something different just to have something working, and so I added this dynamic depth of field here. I don't know if you can see it, but when I look here, everything is kind of sharp, and then when I look at this one, it says sharp on that, and the background is kind of blurred. I don't know if it shows up, but there are some issues with it. It's not always working, so I'm refining it. Anyway, so now we have, let's see now here, it's not, for some reason it's not working there. I don't know why. Okay, so we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3. So let's see if it works. So let's do, just for the fun of it, let's do this one and this one and this one. Boom. And then we hook that up to 3, and we hook this one up to 2, and this one up to 1. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. So if I now spawn a controller here, you cannot see it right now, but this one is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I click this one, and if it's set up correctly, I'm not sure if I set it up correctly, but if I click this one now, it should fire off this one only and not the 2 others. Let's see. Oh, again, visual and virtual, it was soundable feedback is of course needed and stuff like that. And then we can take 2, boom, and now 2 is gone. Yep, perfect. And then we can go into the UI and then take Q3. And what I press to make mods, hello Racing Man, you just miss the first launch of multiple queued firework things. Anyway, super. If sandwich, if you go into the game and go into the workshop, you can click. There's a button in the bottom saying create mods. You just click there, and it will take you to where you need to go. And Dodie looks great. Yeah, it's a start at least. It's not at all as it will be. It will be much better, but it's a start. Okay. Yeah, okay. But actually, this works pretty good. It feels actually pretty good. If there was a little sound and some kind of visual thingy, so I could see that I was pressing this button. It's actually, we could actually do that, like, just in a fun little way. Do we have something? Could actually do that with the built-in things. So if I go to that firing thing here, and I go to the plus, and then we go, so when we, yeah, so when we, so when you press the button, we change the material. Material, we set that to, do we have something that glows? No, not that. I don't know what that is. Let's see. I close red. Maybe that's fine. So, and then when we release it, we set it back. Right now it's just set to this one. Boom. Which is just a temp thing, but anyway. So let's try and do that again. So when we press the button, we set the material to, again, I'm just playing around now just to see if it works. This one, and then when we release the button, we don't press it anymore. We set the material to, yeah, that one again, back to the one that it was. So now the button should actually light up. Hello, Gunago. There's still no sound. I could actually also add that. Wait a second. So play sound behavior. And we can have some kind of click sound. Yeah, fuse time adjustment. Yeah, that's an old one we don't use anymore. Play and start. No. Follow transform. No. So when we click, I don't know if we can do this, but let's see. No, not that one. Play sound. Play sound. Boom. Would that work? So that firing system. No, that's not the right one. This one. So this one and this one. So now they should do a little sound when I click it, and they should light up. Let's see if it works. Yeah, hello Gonako. I don't know if you fan thing. Top fan. Yeah, it's just some YouTube thing. I don't know. It's a new thing. But as you will see in a moment, I have actually played around a bit with dynamic depth of field, and I think it looks. There are some issues with it sometimes, but I will get it to work at some point. But it gives like it's a nice little feeling. I don't know if you can see it here on. So if you see here, if I look at this. See if you look at this sign over here, you can see it becomes blurred when you look at this, and this one have focus, and then we go over here, and nice little thing, and you can also see it happening here. So let's see, this is gonna be, let's stop the sound here and let's see. Oh, can you hear it? Nice. What is this? 32? Oh, 36. I don't know what we'll set to the max, but it also glows now. So, and we have here, let's do 3 again. And then we can set this to 2 and this one to 3. Like that. And then we do it again. Let's take some tubes here. Boom. Boom. And then let's have a lot of these. Let's move them closer. So we take the number 3 one here. Boom. You can also see when I look here. And see, that's the problem. Boom. So like this. I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but when you are seeing it here, it actually looks pretty good. Nice. Perfect. And then we take this one here. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then we spawn a controller, which I haven't done any model for now. This is very, very basic. It's actually set to the lowest blur, the smallest blur really. But you can do it's hard to. It's easy enough to set the distance of focus. That's no problem. The problem is that if I don't change the aperture, you cannot see. For instance, now you can see that in the corner here, the clock is blurred. And if I don't do anything, change the aperture when I'm looking far away, you cannot see the clock close up. So it's a bit, and I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I tried a few things, well, a lot of things. Anyway, so it's hooked up now, and you can see also the electric. What? Huh? Oh, maybe I right click on this one. Damn it. I think I might have right clicked on, on this one, and then it was canceling all the fuses. Anyway, so like this. And the electric fuses also work with this distant thing. So they go away. But we can maybe move. Let's take the first one here. Far away. So I can, and you didn't saw it before, Gonako, but I can either use the buttons here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you cannot see it right now, it's just boxes. And over here I can actually open up a UI where I can do the same thing. And these are just hooked up to the firing system controller behavior, and there are methods on that to send out these firing signals. So when I click here now, we should see one go off, which is this one over here. So that was it. And number 2. And then we do number 3 from the UI. I don't think Biotech, I cannot just remove all the smoke. I can do something, but I don't think it's the smoke that's the problem typically. It's typically some physics and some other stuff. But I have some notes to look into that, but I haven't looked into it yet. Okay, so let's try here. So, and of course these are all on channel 1 now, but it needs to be there needs to be a channel thing too, so you can change the channel. So it's now 4. It was actually quite a good feeling to, when I was doing like this, pressing the button and it just goes off right away. That was actually pretty nice. Just hear woof, go off. Let's try again. And of course I can also do something. I will also do something so there is a delay. Well, the first version of the controller will just be basically as you see here, like press a button and it goes off right away. And then the second version is kind of a system where there is a time between these. So like Q1 goes off and then whatever amount of milliseconds you want goes off before number 2 goes off, and so forth. That is the plan at least. And then the third one is somewhat a system where you can load in a song or something and you can see the waveform, just like you did, Gonako. You made your sample thing there with a waveform, and you can place markers. So say, okay, there needs to be a marker here at that, like after 4 seconds and 200 milliseconds, and that should be channel 1 Q1, and then it will go off at that point, and the next one, and the next one. So anyway, just to prove that Q1 also works from the UI, let me do like this. And also my idea was also, as I also mentioned in the post, I talked with Keltusar about this. Maybe also MC, I can't remember, but we wanna I think it's important because right now when I click on these, I'm looking down, so I can't see the fireworks I'm firing off. And the same goes for the UI. So it's kind of different purposes for that. It would be nice if these 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 was also mapped to num 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatever. Or whatever buttons you want. So that brings me to that I might have to do this rebindable controls for this firing system setup too, which will of course be rebindable. I will make it so it's all the controls that are rebindable, or at least all the important ones, the one you have to use, maybe not the console, but other stuff. And that way you can hook it up to whatever you want. So like you can have different buttons, fire off Q1, Q2, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that's in the future. We will do the simple version first here. So that was number... So if I hit 1 again, nothing happens. Number 2. Yes, number 3. 4. It's actually a pretty good feeling, actually. I have the sound pretty loud now, so when I'm clicking that, it's just a... It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, actually. Pretty nice. Right now, these are not. They are not. You cannot save them or load them with the blueprints yet, but that will come. I have to try something. My shop where I can install the mods, there is nothing. Can you help me? Mr. Sweek, there's nothing, so maybe you're blocked. Oh, Screams for Lunch, super chat. Wow, $10 US. Whoa, crazy. That is crazy. Thank you. Thank you. Are you new here? I haven't seen your name before, I think. But anyway, Mr. Siwik, I don't know. Look if there is an error in the bottom, but make sure your game is updated in Steam so you have the latest version, because else it's for sure not working. I think the smoke disappears, but stacks somewhere. I think you're right, but I don't think it's the smoke. I think there is something else going on in some cases. And I have a bug on that. When playing multiplayer, there is kind of over time, it seems like there's something that's not cleaned up correctly. But I haven't figured out what it is yet. And it also it can be my fault. It can be a Unity bug, and it can be netcode package, the one I'm using for the multiplayer. It can also be a bug in their system. And in this version, the firing system, I upgraded to Unity 6.1. I upgraded to netcode 2.4, the latest version anyway. So maybe just by upgrading these, have fixed it. But anyway, Screams for Lunch. Thank you again for the 10 USD. Nice. Is there going to be a timing delay system without using fuses? Yes, exactly. That's what I don't know when you got in, but that's exactly what I said here. As you can see here, I'm right now building the basics and the core of that functionality, because basically if we have these receivers, I will do more, and there will be channels on and not only the queue. And then you can set up this one to be whatever queue you want. So this one is now listening to queue number 1. So if I go over here and press this button, which you cannot see right now because there's no nice visual, it's just a boring box with some other boxes on it, and I click this one, either here or the UI, which is also very not nice, but if I click here, it shoots off this one. So with that little system, I can I can evolve that system, because now the basics are in place, you could say. And now it's just a matter of making the controller so it automatically, for instance, so there's a kind of a play button, and you have some way of setting a delay between Q1 and Q2, and Q2 and Q3, and 3 and 4, and so on. And that way you can already start timing things. Because then you can say, okay, Q1 goes off after 2 seconds, Q2 goes off after 4 seconds, and this way you can time it perfectly. But it's basically the same thing going on. It's just a matter of you clicking the button or the controller is doing it for you. But anyway, the result is that you can do stuff like that without fuses. But of course, the fuse part is there for hooking it up, because you need some way of telling the system that this receiver is hooked up to this one. And I'm just using the fuses, which are these blue ones, which is a new fuse that you cannot set other than from a receiver here, which is an electrical fuse, is what I'm calling it basically. But it's just a no delay fuse. It's just instant. So really it should, let's try it out, because I'm pretty sure it should work. If we take this one and move it very far away. Maybe up here. There we go. So now it's very far away, right? So let's see if it works. And that was hooked up to 1. So let's see, if I go over here and I click 1, it should go off right away, and we can maybe do it like this so we can see it in the background. And that's one of the issues with the current setup, but we'll figure out. So that was pretty instant. So anyway, I used the fuse system because it's a known system in the game, so I think it makes sense to use that. And again, as I said in the beginning, no matter what fuse you pick here, as soon as you connect it to a receiver, it changes it to an electrical fuse, because that's all. It only makes sense to use that on this one. And you cannot connect 2 receivers together. I also make sure of that, of course. And I just added this little display here and this model, and now you can, I don't know if you can hear it. Pretty nice, actually. So, there's something we haven't tested. Wait a second. Oh, there we have a problem. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, there's a bug right here. Okay. Let me... Okay. I need to note that. So fix deleting fireworks electrical fuse is connected to. I need to note that down. Right now I just want to avoid doing that, but as you saw here, there was a big issue if you delete whatever it's connected to. But anyway, I can fix that. But not right now. We haven't tested that we have multiple receivers for the same queue. So like if we have like 2 things in the sides, it would be nice, so that's Q1. So when they go off, it goes off. So let's try that. Okay, so let's do a little show here. Let's do a fountain. So we have a here and over here. And then let's say there was let's pretend there was a far distance between the 2. So we have we just add 2 of these and then we hook it up. Boom, boom, boom. So these 2 are now, you see this is Q1 and Q1, and then we do something on Q2 here. That is actually pretty easy to change. So let's do something like this, and then put some this one, and this one, and this one. Okay, so we can try and save it, but it won't actually save. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's hope I didn't break anything by doing that. So now we have Q1 and Q2, Q1 and Q2. Okay. Then we take the firing system here. Control here. Boom. Okay. So when I hit number 1, these fountains should go off. Nice. And then when I hit this one, these goes off. Perfect. I don't know where the... Oh. What? Huh? What? Okay. Anyway. Okay. That's another thing. It's nothing to do with the firing system. Why is this not working? What? Okay, minor problem. You didn't see that. Anyway, would be cool to see some sort of UI panel on the right side of the screen that is draggable. What do you mean in relation to the firing system? Because I was also thinking, because the Panini version of before there, I don't know how long you guys have played, but there was a version of a firing system made by Panini, which was actually working pretty good. And he had some UI you could show up that was staying in the side. And Amnesty said, I still think with this way, there will end up being way too many receivers to deal with. Yeah, but this is the basic thing, Amnesty. But what were you thinking? So you wanted, so you want to have like a real one where you have one receiver that have like 5 queues in it, for instance, and then it just listens to a channel. Because I can basically build this. I can build that, I think, with more or less the same script. Except having multiple connection. I don't know. Again, we have to start simple. So, but what do you mean, Amnesty? Is that what you mean? Like having a receiver with multiple queues in it? Per prio, it'll be from the keyboard by pressing F and fires them in order. Yes, something like that. Either bind to some buttons you decide, but maybe default to num 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9, 10 or something like that. I was also thinking that you could kind of, when you are at the fire, somehow you can on the firing system, you could go into kind of a firing mode where you can move around, but then the buttons are mapped to something to the different queues. And the reason that could be interesting is because if you're playing a controller in the future, it's not supported right now, but at some point there will be controller support, I expect. And there you don't have the you don't have that many buttons, right? So in that case, you would have to go into a firing system activation mode or something like that. It could be a button where you would turn on and off or something like that. And then suddenly X is Q1, square is Q2, blah, 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 something like that. Yeah, but Amnesty, you cannot if you have a receiver like you just described, right? and you connect all of them to the same. Now these are not working because something is broken, but so if I connect it to the same, how should I know which one is for Q1 and Q2, right? Yeah, I haven't played Pyroworks for a while, but maybe I should give it a go and see how that works, and then see what makes sense here. But again, remember, Amnesty, we're starting simple, and there have to be, I think there have to be something for everybody. So there have to be kind of a system that is simple, and then you can kind of, extend on that, so people can get better and better, if that makes sense. Where this system is pretty simple, right? Whereas the regular fusing system is the most simple one. Fuse them together, ignite one, boom, it goes off. And this is kind of the next step of having this. And then the next step again is maybe having channels on these, another version, of course, with channels. And then maybe the next version is what you describe, something like that. So, but that's what I said in the beginning. I've spent a lot of time thinking about how this could work, and now I just said, okay, I cannot think any longer. Because I was in doubt, what if we do like this? How would that work there? And I can always come up with scenarios where things will not maybe work, and that stopped me from doing that version. And then I got another version, and then I was thinking again, and then figuring out, okay, then this won't work in this scenario. And now I was now I just start doing something, play around with it, and then I think it's easier to discover and feel what is right and wrong, basically. I would open the UI for... maybe I didn't show you that, Amnesty, because as I said in the news post, I'm juggling about having a physical one and a UI thing. And right now I actually support both. I have Q1, 2, 3, 4 here on this one, but I also have UI for the same. Now everything looks crappy right now, but the logic is in there. So on this one, you can also open the UI and then do stuff here. So you could have something that have the basic control here, and you can go into some UI and do some more advanced stuff. It's all connected to this controller anyway, so they work on the same fireworks system controller anyway. I would open up the UI for that receiver and switch to channel queue. Then you type in the delay, and it says there. Yeah, but how do you know if you have two things connected to the same receiver? How do you know that this one is for Q1 and this one is for Q2? Hello, Romofox. Because I think having all queues loaded, then click designated queue, can fire one. Again, fire the next queue. Yeah, okay, but I could that pure pyro, that one with just having, instead of having Q1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you could just have one button doing everything. So like when you go into some firing mode, then every time you press whatever button, it takes Q1, then next time you press it, it fires Q2, then you press it Q3. That is also very possible to do. And it's not actually very difficult to make. Yeah, I can try it out. The reason I hold a little back of looking at too many other systems is that I don't want to copy it, and I don't want to be too what is the word? I want to have an open mind. You know, I wanna play around with this, find out how it's not working, and then improve it. But of course, if I can skip some steps by looking at another system and then take whatever parts that I think is nice from that, that's of course also a possibility. It's not like me or Pyreworks or Panini have any own a firing system. There are a lot of firing systems, I guess. But I have looked at the Panini one, by the way, Amnesty. I have tried that one. But I have to go soon. Okay, maybe I don't have to go anyway. Okay. But maybe we should let's do something. So let's stop this one. And so basically, so this is what we have right now in the game, right? In the version of the game I have. Let's see if I don't have. Okay, then I have to close this one down. But I actually think it works pretty. No, it's a simple version, so you know, it's a simple version. So so based on that, it works fine. Let's try and go into the betas here and then change to before multiplayer, because then we can try out the Panini one. But Amnesty, the one you described there by the opening up receiver and switch channel queue and stuff like that, that's not how it works in Paninis, right? Is that the Pyreworks you're talking about? What it should be is having the timing set up in the controller and being in edit mode. Yeah, okay, but yeah, okay. So in that's Pyreworks you're talking about, right? So in Pyreworks you walk up to the firework and then you basically say to it, you are channel 1 Q1, and then you walk up to another one, look at that, say you are this and this. That's basically what we do with the fuses in Fireworks Mania. But I see your point that it could be a fuse nightmare, right? Let's see. It's called something like prop. No. What is it called? Prop. No. Panini. No. It's called. I found the other day. What's it called? Firing. Yes. This is the one you mean, right? That's the one by Panini, right? Okay, can I see because it's migrated here, but anyway. It was subscribed anyway. Let's see. But I don't understand that timing per channel queue in the receiver. I don't see why it's the receiver being in charge of the timing. It makes more sense that it's the controller, the firing controller, that fires off the queues in whatever time sequence. Anyway, so walk me through this. So there is a control detonator. So that's channel. Oh, so there's no queues here. Fire. I don't get. So that's the receiver here. Okay. So if this channel is 1 and this channel is 1, and then I set it to 4 seconds. Then I do something like this. So when I press this fire button here, it counts down and then fire off channel 1. Yes. And then they're gone. But UI receiver. Can't even remember how it works. So this is connected to here, and we have some UI. So that's just the channel number. So that's channel 1, but Q what? I really don't think this is very intuitive, to be honest. So here channel, okay, so that's channel, channel 1. And let's add another channel 2. So that's the delay between, let's give it 5. And no, let's give it 10 seconds and 5 seconds. So that's channel 1. That was not the one. This is the one. Yeah, but I think actually channel will be in the version I built right now. There's no channel involved. Basically, there is, but you don't see it. But it is underneath there, the channel. So channel and queue is also a thing. And the reason is that if you want to have a lot, you cannot have like 100 buttons, right? So you have like 12 channel 1. And then the same 12 can be used on channel 2. And then you suddenly have 24 with only 12 buttons. Yeah, depends on how we do it. But anyway, so have I set it up correctly now? This one is channel 1. This one is channel 2. And then and then here is the channel 1, delay 5 seconds. I don't know if the delay is before or after the channel, but anyway, I'm pretty sure we'll figure that one out. And then channel 2 has a delay of 10. So if I fire this one off now, so now it starts launching. There's also this UI thing I could open. Okay, there goes 1. And there goes number 2. But this was the, as I said before, this was the it's the controller in this case that keep track of the timing. And now yes, you have this UI, but that could be done in many ways. So the timing on the receiver you set, Amnesty, is that in Pyworks or is it something I haven't seen in here? Yeah, okay, we can do that. I don't know if I have time today, but at least I will have a look at it. Yeah. Makes sense. But yeah, I have to go now anyway. But yeah, actually some nice process and all this stuff we're talking about now, that's all built on top of what I already have made. So that's perfect. Because basically what we are talking about is how, yeah, I should be able to do all the stuff anyway now, depending on what we want. But that's pretty good. I think actually works. For the simple version I've built now, I think it works pretty good. And then with some more visual and audibly feedback and stuff like that, really nice and bound to some keyboards. Already it feels kind of great actually clicking the button and then it goes off. So that's pretty good. How can 8 access that mod? If you want to access that mod, you have to go back to the see here. If you go into Steam and you go to Fireworks Mania and properties, and then you go to betas, you can pick some old versions here, and there is one called Before Multiplayer Support. So this one here, Before Multiplayer Support. If you select that one, you get back to the version, funny enough, Before Multiplayer Support, and in there, all the old mods are there, and they still work there. They will not be updated and the game won't be updated in this version, but you can at least try out these old things. Also, just as I will post about that later, but I also added some old demos. So if you want to try out a very old demo, like the first, I think this is the demo from Itch actually. We can let's end off by playing that, so you can see how far the game has come in like 4-5 years. And then let's end off on that one. Nice screen here. Oh, so there's no maps. There's a how to play, which is not the same as the Q. Don't press that. That's back from when you could ignite everything. So this, I think, was the first itch.io. You can see in the corner there that it's from 2019, and I clicked Q, so now everything exploded. I could pick up things here, throw it. Physics tool, and you could also spawn stuff. Oh, I pressed Q. In this version, Q is not a menu, it's just everything goes off. Yeah, so this was how the game looked in 19. This was everything. Yeah. Stuff happened. Anyway. Nice progress and good feedback. I will close the stream now, and I don't know if I have time, but maybe I will try out the Pyroworks thing just to get some inspiration. But yeah, that's all for now. See you in the next one, and thank you for stopping by. And good progress on the fire system. See you guys.